Shalom. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and salutations to the Akim around the world that pushes truth in sincerity. Tonight I'd like to do a short breakdown entitled Who Satan Really Is, because contrary to what is the teaching in Catholicism, which is Roman Catholic doctrine, they taught us a lot of stuff that wasn't true. Alright, I'd like to cover a few precepts. It is Job 9 verse 24. It say the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, right? Because the wicked who rule this world right now, Satan is one of their strengths, right? Even though the Most High is the one that rule in the kingdom of men, he gave them over for Satan to organize them. That is why even when the Messiah walked the earth, it was Satan who would tempt him with the things of the world, because Satan have a big role to play when it comes to certain entities that bear rule over this world on the physical level. That is why you'll see people like who in the Illuminati and so forth, they will be serving Satan, because he does give them a lot of the power that the Most High does allow him to. Well, I cover what is really going on with Satan, because according to what is the teacher pertaining to Roman doctrine, to Catholic doctrine, there was teacher that Satan was casted out of heaven, and I think they said 2/3 of the angels fell out with him, and he was the angel of music, and all these different things. It have a lot of different stories that they like to talk about with Satan. When it comes to who he really is, he has lived down in hell in a lake of fire, and he have a pitchfork in his hand with 2 big horns on his head. There are many different stories that the teachers growing up when it comes to who Satan is, where is his real purpose, how he does look, where he does be, and all these different things. Now we see what the scriptures say about it, because all these things I just talk about, if a person had to show you those things in the scriptures, they can't find it. All of those things were things that they just taught the slaves when they had us in slavery. Well, when they had us in shackles, physical shackles. A lot of us still in mental shackles. So the Isaiah 45 verse 7, it say, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. Say, I the Lord do all these things, right? So the Lord telling you that he created the light and darkness. He created peace and he created evil also. So like I would like to teach you in one of the definitions of Satan, like the teacher that Satan, they get jealous of man and he end up becoming evil through jealousy. But the Most High said that he created evil. Evil wasn't created spontaneously or just coincidentally. The Most High created evil. So the Proverbs 16 verse 4, it say, the Lord had made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. So wicked wasn't created on its own. The Most High created the wicked. So the same way he created good people, he created wicked people also. And the same way, good people have their purpose, wicked people also have their purpose. But he created the 2 of them for himself. Now there's something that most people just can't be able to comprehend. The people don't believe that the Most High did create wicked things. How they put it across is that these things just happen to come about and just happen to be at rift with the Most High. But that is not true. The Most High created the wicked for the day of evil. I go deeper, I say, Amos 3 verse 6, it say, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? It says, shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord had not done it? So this scripture also shows that the Most High does do evil. Now, when I say do evil, evil just means to do something bad towards somebody. Like, say for example, when Israel used to stop following the laws, statutes, and commandments before, and he would give them into the hands of the other nations. That is like doing evil towards them. But he had evil that was created to fulfill these purposes, just like what Satan's purpose is. Satan is to do the purpose of evil things, just like in the story of Job, which we'll go through just now. But the Most High created evil for these purposes. So when something bad have to be done, it have an entity to fulfill that and to fulfill that bad. The same way when it has something good to be done, it have an entity to fulfill that good. We take a trip in Psalms 78. Psalm 78, verse 49, it say, He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation, and trouble, by sending evil angels among them. Now, you see how the scripture say evil angels? Because like I say, evil is just to do something bad towards somebody. And it had angels that are created for this purpose. The same way it have angels that are created for the purpose of doing good and blessing and protecting. It have angels that are created to do bad things towards people. Because if the Most High have to destroy a place or to do harm to somebody, it have angels that are created for that particular purpose. And Satan is one of those angels. That is what he was created for the day of evil, meaning if something bad has to be done to a place or to a person. So it's nothing like he was cast out of heaven and he and the Most High's enemies and all these different things. That is just something that he used to teach his slaves to have them afraid. But that is not true. Those angels in charge of things like, if you put a curse on somebody, they had to fulfill that curse to be able to destroy or bring harm to that person and all the different bad things that has happened. They are the ones who are in charge of these things. If a person had to be sick, that is why when the Messiah would walk the earth, he could be able to heal the sick, because he could take the spirits that was in that person causing the sickness out. It's spirits that has caused harm like these things. It's caused sickness. It's caused things like homosexuality. Any kind of evil that you see in it. It have spirits that are created to fulfill those roles. And that's why when the Messiah walked the earth, he could have solved all these different problems. Because he could have taken those spirits that was causing it out of those people. Here's our next example here. There is Psalms 109. I'll start from 5. It say, And they have rewarded me evil for good, and hatred for my love. It says, Set thou a wicked man over him, and let Satan stand at his right hand. It say, When he shall be judged, let him be condemned, and let his prayer become sin. Let his days be few, and let another take his office. Let his children be fatherless, and his wife a widow. This is a curse that was being placed on somebody. You understand? But just like how this curse being called upon somebody, for this curse to be fulfilled, it will have a spirit that will actually go out to fulfill this curse. The same way if a blessing was being fulfilled, it will have a spirit that goes, a spirit that in that department that goes out to fulfill that blessing. And that is exactly what the spirits on, what does it say on the left hand side, which is like Satan and angels like in his department, are for, to fulfill curses like that and to do harm to people and to do destruction or whatever the case may be. It says, this is Ecclesiasticus, which is the book of Sirach 39 verse 28. It say, There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their forces, and appease the wrath of him that made them, which is the Most High. So when the Most High have wrath or indignation towards a certain place or person, you have these spirits that go out and pour their destructive force to please him, because that's what they were created for, the day of vengeance, which is exactly what the scriptures said. So just like our ways are good, it must have bad, and this is the reason why, because the Most High created both to fulfill a purpose. Let me go now to the story of Job. This is a very good example. Right? So they Job 1, I'll start from 6. It say, now there was a day when the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. Now if people like to say that Satan was cast out of heaven, what would be the reason that he would be in the council of Job, in Job? Especially since Job was after the time of Genesis. If people like to say that he was cast out even before the time of Genesis, what he doing in the council of the Most High after the time of Genesis? In verse 7 it say, and the Lord said unto Satan, whence cometh thou? Like where was? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth the Most High, and escheweth evil? Now the word eschew like means to hate. Now you see here that Satan didn't recommend Job. The Most High recommended Job to Satan, because while you're on earth here, you had to be tempted to try your faith, and that is also another purpose of these angels, to be able to try your faith. They will be tempting you to see if you will go astray or if you're ready down for the Most High order. That is one of their jobs. That is also another purpose the Most High have them here for, which is why he recommended Job to Satan. And Satan answered the Lord and said, doth Job fear the Most High for naught? Has not thou made an hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he had on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hand, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he had, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, all that he had is in thy power, only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Most High. Now anybody who read the story of Job 1, they know that Satan distressed Job in a big way. But if you realize what the scriptures say here, not only did the Most High recommend Job to Satan, but Job couldn't touch Satan. Satan couldn't touch Job until he get permission from the Most High. And the Most High gave him that permission. So that is to show you that Satan is not a private entity, as how it does make it look like he does just go about doing things. He have a job to fulfill, and he has had to get permission to even be able to do his job. That is why you'll see that the scriptures say the elect will always be the elect. They could never go off, because Satan have no power over them, because the Most High has preserved them. But the 2/3, the Satan have power over them. That is how they are ordained to fall off. But this is to show you how the Most High and Satan are not enemies. When Satan come to present himself to the council, is the answer, where I was doing. I had this job for you to do, I had that job for you to do. It's not like how people is try to put it across, as in he was cast out of heaven and two of them is enemies, and in the last days is the Most High and Satan going to have the final battle and all these different things. All of these things is a lie. The Most High and Satan is not enemies. Satan is a very obedient servant to the Most High. So there's Isaiah 19 verse 14, it said, the Lord had mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Now you see, the Lord had mingled a perverse spirit. There's a next example of him putting one of his evil angels into the midst of people to throw them off. Just like with Sodom and Gomorrah, it had evil angels that was causing them to be like that, because because it was ordained for them to be destroyed, to be an example. The Most High know that Sodom and Gomorrah would never come back from how it is there was, because it was ordained for them to be destroyed. But it have angels that has fulfilled these different things. Even to be able to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, it had angels that served that purpose also. As you read in Ecclesiasticus, it say they lay on sore strokes and appease the wrath of him that made them, because that is what it was created for destruction. Today, 2 Chronicles 18, I'll start from 18. It say, again he said, therefore hear the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting upon his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing on his right hand and on his left. Because on the Most High left hand side, and there's even used that term in life to talk about things on the left hand side. You understand? That refers to evil things, because on the Most High left hand side is Satan and his army, his legion, and on the Most High right hand side is the Messiah and his arsenal. That is how the counsel of the Most High does be. So when Satan was in the council in Job, he was just in his usual place in the council on the Most High left hand side, doing his job. Saying, the Lord said, who shall entice Ahab, king of Israel, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one spake, saying after this manner, and another saying after that manner. So the Most High asking, who will entice Ahab? Then there came out his spirits, and stood before the Lord, and said, I will entice him. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go out and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. Now there's what the Spirit come forth and telling the Most High that he will do. Because the Most High asked, who will entice him? And the Lord said, thou shalt entice him, meaning go ahead, and thou shalt prevail. Go out and do even so. So the Most High send the Spirit out to go and lie to the prophets. Verse 22, it says, now therefore, behold, the Lord had put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and the Lord had spoken evil against thee. Because if you read the story of King Ahab, he was a wicked king, and the Most High wanted a spirit to go out and deceive Ahab to go up and battle in Ramoth Gilead and die. You understand? So to show you, it has spirits. It has spirits that are created for destructive purposes. Now the Most High didn't have to go through this process to put a lying spirit in the mouth of his prophets to be able to send him right up in a battle to die. He could have simply given him a heart attack and kill him, or he could have killed him in many other different ways. But he just choose to do things in a certain order, because we supposed to learn from these situations. The same way when he used to send Israel to kill out people, he could have simply give the people in that tongue a heart attack and let Israel go and clean up all the bodies and take the land. But the scriptures say the Most High is a God of war. How else would those scriptures be fulfilled? So everything is a process. The same way is to show us the order in which the Most High does do things, and how he have angels, evil angels, to actually fulfill different purposes. All these things is to show us that the scriptures actually being fulfilled. So the same way he say, He created good and evil for certain purposes. It has scriptures. It has scriptures in the Bible also to give you examples of that. So all this showing you that the Mosai and Satan, according to what it is that is teach us in this world, they are not enemies. Satan does serve the Mosai, just like the electors, just like the electors try to serve him. They are not enemies. Satan not living under the ground in a lake of fire, and all these other nonsense that they just teach you, right? So, with that, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and salutations to the Akim around the world, pushing the truth in sincerity. Shalom.